How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Jason Croft Show. Little episode of What's Working Now with Matt Sharp. Matt, how's it going?
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah! So give everybody a quick rundown on what it is originally, what it is in concept, right? And then the version, of course, now is a little bit different than it was originally. But give us a
Yeah.
little background.
We built it. My wife and I built it for our daughter Ella when she was 18 months old. My wife was a PE teacher for 7 years and was basically saying the kids entering the school system were getting worse every year, socially and emotionally, physically. And she didn't want that for our daughter. And, at 18 months, where do you take a child? There wasn't a lot of options. Most places for kids basically play with your kids. And, the difference, I think, for us is we approach this with how can we empower kids? How can we empower parents? And, help kids fight their own dragons, be more independent, be more socially and emotionally developed. Because all of these things with child development really mesh together. A kid that's physically active tends to be more confident, and that kid tends to raise their hand more in school, and they tend to learn better. So all these things are really wrapped together, and there wasn't anything that existed, so that led to these conversations. And I'm fairly entrepreneurial. KidStrong's, I think, it's my seventh startup.
Wow.
So it basically was like, let's build our own. And we started out very humbly in the back of a warehouse, grew really quickly to 150 kids. Long story short, attracted some investors in Dallas. Dallas became our Kitty Hawk. If you know the Kitty Hawk story, they moved from Ohio to Kitty Hawk because that was the best place to do it. And, we hit the ground running in Dallas. And, before COVID hit, we had 7 locations open, 75 sold. Through large kind of developers throughout the United States. And it's just been awesome. And the whole program is based on science-based training led by professional coaches. And it's built for just as much for parents as it is for kids. And it's based on 3 things: physical development, character development, and brain development.
I love that's so slick. So how do you wrap all three of those things together?
A lot of research shows that kids actually learn more effectively while they're moving.
Mm.
So in that class, we might do everything from sprinting and pull-ups to sign language to colors, numbers, shapes, to learning Spanish. We mix all of these things together in this environment that really stimulates every side, every angle of the brain. And kids tend to pick those things up much, much faster. Also, there's a huge focus on social and emotional development, which is one of the major kind of needs with kids today. A lot of kids are very book smart. Socially, emotionally, and character development tend to be thrown to the wayside. And there's a lot of emerging research now that says that kids that are more socially and emotionally developed in kindergarten end up being more successful adults. So where most parents kind of play the academic game or the sports game, the social and emotional, / character game is actually one of the best indicators for later success with childhood.
Oh.
So there's a lot of focus in the classes on building social and emotional development, leadership skills. As kids progress through the classes, they become more of a leader in the class. They become like an assistant coach. They help lead things. There's public speaking practice. And we really want to develop these things early, because if you can develop between 2 and 6, a child's brain is actually operating on genius level. Like they can absorb more information, and there's more adaptation than any other period in their development. So during that time, it's just very important to kind of like put the right ingredients in and build that really solid base so that they can make better decisions on their own.
So many of us don't know what to do, even if we understand and grasp the concept of how important it is. We don't know what to do necessarily to facilitate that a lot of times.
We all love our kids. We just don't know, like, technically what we're doing, and we're kind of feeling, our way across. And, one of the biggest things for us was like, we want to connect parents with child development experts. Because when you can connect with experts, they can save you years of time and anguish by saying, like, let's work on this thing 5 minutes a day for a week. And you'll develop this solid foundation for this one thing. Or like, let's have our kids order their own food at 4 in a restaurant. And it might seem weird, but if you develop that at 4, then they become more socially confident and they develop these traits that, end up filtering out into all aspects of their life. So there's all these like things that really, really work that parents just don't have access to because there's just no like trusted resource. So what we try to do is take all those disciplines and really kind of shrink them down to what are the action items that we can do today with our kids, 5 or 10 minutes that make a big difference.
Oh, I love it. That's awesome. So talk to me about this pivot really quickly that happened. I think the timing of it all, where you're recording this right now, is part of that. I think the timing of it is just incredible.
So I would say about a year and a half ago, KidStrong won a tech competition for taking our curriculum online. We had a lot of kind of proof points that it works. And that it was something that would transfer onto online, because the physical locations are great, but there's only so many kids that, will be able to get to a physical location. And we were learning so much that we wanted to get this in the hands of parents and educators. So we won this tech competition, and then KidStrong, the studios, kind of exploded with, lots of people wanting to open them. So, this really cool kind of idea of taking it online got put on the back burner, and we were probably spending, 2 to 5% of our time and resources on it a month, and just kind of like, inching it along while we were growing the studios.
Sure.
And then, COVID hit, and I think we could see things kind of progressing their way toward the United States. You could see the United States, kind of progressing down toward Texas. And about 2 weeks before it really hit Dallas, we had a call with our tech team. It was real. I was like staying up at night thinking like, this thing's coming. Like, we got to figure out, a solution to take care of our families, because, these families and kids really need it. And if we can't have class, what are we going to do? So we basically took this thing that was a prototype, and in 2 weeks did about 2 months worth of work with our tech team and developers, and basically got it to MVP status 2 days before the studios had to close per the governor. And where most places like us, or work with kids, or even work with adults in large groups, like basically shut down, we were able to say, we're going to take this membership that you pay for at the studio, and we're going to transfer it to this online membership. And instead of offering you 1 class a week, we're going to offer you 15 to 25 offerings of classes and at-home challenges and brain and body boost and parent workouts and family workouts. We're just going to transfer everything online until the studios get back open, and then you guys will be able to go back. But at the end of that, we'll have this really cool online product that everyone in the world can use. So we did that like within days, and this room that I'm sitting in was an office. It went from office to studio over the course of about 48 hours. Now we're producing 15, 20 classes a week for our students. We have about 1,200 kids in the program now online. I would say we try to have a month or two of progress in product development every week now.
Oh, wow.
Because we're just so focused on how can this week be, 10x better than last week.
Right.
Trying to learn as fast as we can. Businesses that have put like a lot of work into this foundation and have a good relationship with their customers, like now is the time to go all in on that and do as much for them as you can online, so that you can maintain that, regardless of what's going on the landscape.
So how can people reach out and sign up and learn more and all that good stuff?
Sure. KidStrong.com has been converted completely over to what we call KidStrong University, which is our online product. And if you just go to KidStrong.com now, it takes you straight to how you get involved in the online product. There's hundreds of classes and challenges in a web app or members-only website. And then we have a private Facebook group for families, and a private Instagram page for families as well. So this is where experts will do a video, and then they can be live. You can be talking directly to experts in the private groups, asking questions. And it's really cool, because everyone is kind of stuck at home, and then you go to this Facebook group and you see people working out in the living rooms, and the kids are learning how to ride their bikes, and you see them watching these things on the TV and kind of following along with the workouts, and it's really cool.
Oh, I love it. I love what you got going. I'm glad it's going well, and you're actually finding a way to thrive during this, and then really a product that's helping other people thrive as well. I think it's fantastic. So thanks so much for being on here, Matt. And I encourage everyone out there, head to KidStrong.com and check this out today.
I appreciate it, Jason.